This is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. Coming to you from the fabulous Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome, I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots, give it all I got. All I got is this microphone. I am
Reach for the sky, boy.
Hey, everybody, this is Billy Gunn.
Hi, this is Glasgow, Delaware Kit Kat.
Hey, it's me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
This is the Birdman Coco Beware.
Hey, this is Leo Rush.
In Macho Madness, yeah. Growing, and more seductive than sex.
To me, they are the greatest tag team in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks!
Hey, this is the NWA World's Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, the National Treasure, Nick Holden.
Woo! It's the Nature Boy. Woo!
While you may see me out there shaking my ass, you can guarantee on May 25th, I'll be kicking it too.
This is Tito Santana, WWE Hall of Famer.
Hey, what's up? It's Tony Schiavone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one of the founding fathers of All In, the executive vice president of All Elite, Cody!
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world destroy you?
Hi, this is Slick Willie, and I did not have sex with that woman right there. Not enough sex with that woman over there either. And I never, ever listen to Grunt to Groan with Benjamin Burrows.
Hello again, and welcome to Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows. Nobody listening, even Slick Willie. But you're listening, and you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you get out there and you sell it. And it is a great and glorious day to be out selling your products and selling your services. And I'll tell you, it has been an emotional couple weeks. This is episode 45, a monumental mark for us here at Grunt to Groan. And just a lot of emotion because we're celebrating this. We're celebrating the fact that we have 45 episodes. We are currently heard in 17 different countries. And the analytics say that we are now over 50,000 of you checking out the podcast each and every week. And some great companies out there, sales professionals from those companies listening to Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. And I want to thank you for that. If you want to get in contact with us, please do. You can email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That's greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. If you'd like to advertise on our podcast, again, same email, greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That is my direct email. I don't have any filters on that. I have nobody checking that. So your emails are coming right directly to me. So if you would like to get in contact with us, I answer every single email that I get. Again, greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. You can also buy the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, at barnesandnobles.com, walmart.com, and, of course, on amazon.com. And if you've purchased the book, please go on to amazon.com and write me a review. I would appreciate it. The more reviews we get, the more Amazon pushes the book. And we are now into the end of September, heading into October, and this is that time of the year where we start thinking about what we're going to do for Christmas gifts. And Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling is a great Christmas gift to give the sales professional in your life. So check it out. Again, amazon.com, barnesandnobles.com, walmart.com. Now, this past week, I was talking with some sales professionals and sales management. And we were talking about how often how often should a sales professional go for the close? And we were talking about how sales professionals tend to fall into a routine where they present their products, they present their services, the features, the functions, the benefits, but then they never ask for the business. And in this conversation, I said, well, I was trained what was called ABC, Sales ABC. Now, some of you old school, some of you OG sales professionals, you're going to get this. You know what I'm talking about when I say ABC. ABC stands for always be closing. You see, in every step of the process, you should always be closing. For example, I had a client ask me about some LED lighting. He wanted to change out the ballroom of his facility. And he had a particular LED lighting product that he wanted to use. And my question, after he explained this to me, was real simple. If I have it, how many do you need? I'm already going for the close. 200. Okay. I look it up, and I find out that we do stock the product. I said, I have it in the warehouse. I can have it to you tomorrow. You need 200. Do you want me to process this order now? His response was, absolutely, let me get you a PO. You see, I'm always closing. When I was in the automotive sales business, someone would come onto the lot and they said, I really like, take a product, that Chevy. I really love that Chevy. Well, I've got one right here. Would you like to buy it today? Well, I want a red one. Well, I've got a red one right here. Would you like to buy it today? I wanted an automatic. This one has an automatic. Can we go in, get the paperwork done, put you in this car today? Always closing. And all my old school buddies are going, absolutely, that's the ABC. Even when I was selling equipment and we had to demonstrate the equipment, as I was demonstrating the equipment, I put the close right in my demonstration. I did not go past 2 or more features, functions, or benefits of the equipment I was showing without asking for the close. And you can ask for the close in many different ways. You can do test closing. You can call them lukewarm closes. You could call them closes to feel the water, the temperature of the water. Any way you do it, you should always be closing. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this tie into professional wrestling? How can the ABCs of professional sales, always be closing, tie in to professional wrestling? Well, you know, the WWE is getting ready to debut on the Fox network on Friday night. And NXT premiered on USA Network 2 weeks ago and will broadcast every Wednesday night. And AEW is premiering this Wednesday night on the TNT network. So how does all this tie into professional wrestling? Well, my wife and I had watched some football yesterday and got a little bored with some of the games because some of them really weren't that exciting. And I'm an Eagles fan. We'd already beat the Packers on Thursday night. EAGLES, Eagles. So the Fox network showed this program highlighting the greatest WrestleManias of all time. But there's a match that they left out of their hour-long program. And I know they couldn't get to them all, but I consider this the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. It was the Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania 3 between Randy the Macho Man Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I consider that not only the greatest Intercontinental Championship match ever, I consider it one of WrestleMania's greatest, if not the greatest matches ever, and the greatest championship match ever wrestled. Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon. In that match, as exciting as it was, there was 22 false endings. Now, I want you to think about that. In a match that didn't last that long, and in front of 93,000 people, there were 22 false endings. Now, you got to think about that. In professional wrestling, false endings like that, or going for the pin, is like closing the business. It is designed to take the crowd to an emotional high. In the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, I wrote, it was a match that lasted just under 17 minutes, and it featured 22 pinfalls, something that was completely unheard of at the time. They went for 22 pins in 17 minutes. Now, in the world of professional wrestling, going for the pin is considered going for the close or taking the match home. 17 minutes, 22 pin attempts. Now, as a sales professional, think about your last meeting that you had with a client, any client. Think about what you talked about. Think about what you presented. And then ask yourselves, how long did that meeting go, and how many times did I go for the close? If that meeting went 17 minutes, did you ask for the close 22 times? Now, you might think that's a little absurd. You might think that's a little crazy. But this is what WWE Hall of Famer, the late, great George the Animal Steele said about that Intercontinental match at WrestleMania 3 between the Macho Man and the Dragon. It was probably the greatest match of all time, especially for the fans. 22 closes in 17 minutes, and George the Animal Steele, a legend, said it was the greatest match of all time. When I interviewed Evan Ginsberg, he was the associate producer of the Academy Award-winning film The Wrestler. This is what he said. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat at WrestleMania 3 was professional wrestling elevated to art. Now, I just want to stop there for a minute. When you're thinking about professional wrestling, do you necessarily think about art? Do you think about the great artist of all time? Picasso comes to mind. Would you compare professional wrestling elevated to its highest level as art? Associate producer of the film, the Academy Award-winning film, The Wrestler, Evan Ginsberg, says that match was art. And as I prepared for this podcast, the question ran through my mind, have I elevated my sales game to the level of art? Have you elevated your sales game to the level of art? I contend we are not in this sales game by happenstance. If you read the book Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, you know that I strongly believe that we are in the game of sales. We are in the profession of sales because it is what we were designed to do. And if Picasso was designed to create great paintings, then we are designed to create great sales. Elevate your game to the level of art. Ginsburg went on to tell me that WrestleMania 3 match was professional wrestling as great theater. Their match was a great sporting event along the lines of Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. ABC, always be closing. Elevate your sales game to that of art. ESPN writer Brian Campbell said of that WrestleMania 3 match, that one moment above all that fans bring up from my career was when they run into me. It's the Randy Savage match from WrestleMania 3. Brian Campbell wrote this in an interview he had with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Here it is 30 years later, Steamboat told Campbell, and everywhere I go, that's what people want to talk about. When I interviewed Nikita Koloff, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, former NWA National Heavyweight Champion, NWA United States Heavyweight Championship, NWA World Tag Team Champion, NWA World Six-Man Tag Team Champion. He said the key to success in sales is always to be open to opportunity. Don't be so closed-minded that you are the expert and know it all. In other words, keep your mind open to the close. Be ready for the close. Ask for the close. ABC, my friend, always, always be closing. Before we end the podcast this week, I want to just say to Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, to Dustin Rhodes, to the crew, Marco Stunt, to everybody involved with AEW. You debut this Wednesday night, and I wish you great success. And I hope that AEW is around for a long, long time. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the old territorial wrestling, and I believe competition makes us better. And you will be competition that will make the WWE better. So good luck, Cody. Good luck, Young Bucks. Have a great program. I can't wait to see your product on Wednesday night. With that, I'm going to close this, our 45th episode of Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. I thank you for taking the time to listen to the podcast. And remember, you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you sell it. So quit listening to me and get out there and sell something.
One choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots. Give it all I got. All I got is this microphone.